Well, hey there, folks. How are you doing? It's lovely to see you again as usual. So, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on whereabouts in the world you are. And greetings from a very dreich Scotland. It's a very miserable day today. So, I thought I'd brighten things up with these wee Jammie Dodger cupcakes. They're absolutely delicious, very easy to make. This is everything that I used here, and all of these ingredients will be in the show more box underneath the video along with the weights. So I've got some self-raising flour, some jam, I've got some unsalted butter, a couple of free-range eggs, a wee drop of milk there as well, some baking powder, some mini biscuits, and also some sugar, and that's it. These are the wee biscuits that I'm using here. These are mini Jammie Dodgers, very easy to get if you're in the UK, but I will leave a link to Amazon where you can buy these as well. It's just a wee round butter biscuit with a jammy filling. They come in a larger size, and these are the smaller size. I'm going to be using my stand mix today just because it makes things so much easier, but you can do this by hand really easily if you prefer, or if you've got one of those hand mixers. So pop in some self-raising flour. I'm just going to put everything through a sieve just to make sure there are no lumps, and then the sugar. You can use ordinary granulated sugar if you don't have caster sugar, and then half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda or baking soda, so just pop that in as well. Give it a wee stir around just to push everything through the sieve, like I said, just to make sure there are no lumps in there, and this was absolutely fine. And to that we're going to add some nice soft butter. Make sure it's nice and soft and room temperature, just like this. I'm using unsalted, but you could use salted if you prefer. And then a couple of lovely free range eggs as well. These are large eggs, and you just want to blend all of this together until it's nice and smooth. It'll only take you a minute or possibly 2 minutes. Now your batter is going to be quite thick at this stage, so we're going to add a wee bit of milk just to loosen things up. So this is 1.5 tablespoons of whole milk. You might want to add 2 tablespoons. It just depends how thick your batter is, but you're looking for something like this, and I was really happy with this. And it's bright orange because the yolks of those eggs, you know, they're obviously quite orange. And this is the raspberry jam that I'm using here. Now you just want to pop a couple of tablespoons into your batter, just like this, and you want to give it a wee move around, but don't mix it in too much because we want that nice rippled effect. So don't go daft with your spatula, just give it a couple of turns just to combine it a wee bit. But like I said, you do want the separation there so that when your cakes are baked and you split them in the middle, you can see a nice marbled, rippled effect. So I'm just going to use this wee scoop just to make sure I've got roughly the same amount in each wee case, and this will give you about 12 cupcakes, obviously depending on how much mixture you're putting into your cupcakes, but you should get about 12 or 13 into sort of standard cupcake cases. You want to bake these for between 20 and 25 minutes in the middle of your oven on quite a low heat, just to make sure that they do bake all the way through and they don't go too dark. And I was really happy with these. Give them a wee press on the top, and if it springs back at you, you know they are ready. Let them cool a wee bit, and I'm just going to use an apple corer just to get the centre out. If you don't have an apple corer, you can use a knife or something like that, just to make a wee hole in the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect because obviously we're going to cover it all up with cream anyway. But I'm just going to pop some jam into the centre. I'm using a mixture of raspberry jam, and I've also added in a wee bit of raspberry dessert sauce as well, just to make it extra fruity and a wee bit more loose. This one is from my local ice cream shop, so it's that sort of ice cream raspberry sauce which I love, and it's ever so fruity. So use whatever combination works for you, but you do want it quite loose and runny so that when you bite into your cake it sort of scooshes out, that kind of thing. So just get all your holes out of your cakes. Like I said, apple corer does this really quickly, and then fill up with your jam. I had to refill halfway through so I had to make another wee batch. So just keep going until you get all the way to the top, and I was happy with these ones. And don't they look pretty? And they were absolutely delicious, let me tell you. Vanilla cupcakes are very underrated in my opinion. The last thing I'm going to do is add some cream. So this is just some double cream or heavy cream which I've whipped with a hand blender just until it was lovely and stiff. I've also added 2 tablespoons of icing sugar into the mix, or confectioner's sugar, just to thicken it up, but blend it really, really well with a hand mix or a hand whisk, just until it goes really stiff. And that way it will hold its shape when you go to pipe on the top. And the nozzle that I'm using here is a twist nozzle, very, very easy to use, and it gives such a lovely effect. It does look quite professional, but you don't have to be professional to use this wee nozzle. You just sort of twist it from side to side and you'll have this lovely wee swirl on the top. I will leave a link to the nozzle as well underneath the video where you can go and find it on Amazon, but it's just a twist nozzle and lots of different companies make them. The last thing I'm going to do is put on the last of my raspberry jam and raspberry goo sort of topping. So I'm just going to use that up on the top, just a wee blob on the top of each to give that jam splat sort of appearance. And then I'm going to pop in my wee biscuits, and that's them done. And don't they look lovely? And I'm not going to be able to split it through the middle to let you see, because I've actually made these for someone else, but you can imagine just how wonderful they are inside. So do let me know if you're going to give those ones a go. Super easy to make, yeah, and they'll look very impressive as well, in my opinion. So I'm going to leave you now, but before I go, thank you as usual to the supporters of the channel over my Patreon page, to the channel members here on YouTube as well, and for you all for watching and leaving your lovely comments, and for those that share the videos as well. And I will catch up with you during the week for another wee recipe, back on Sunday for meals of the week, or during the week for my shopping and bagging. So you take care of yourselves, and I'll see you off soon back here on What's for Tea. Bye now.